Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, and welcome. It's Nurse Richard, the Wax Wizard. Thanks for joining me. Look at this. Can you see a big dint in this chap's ear? Yeah, you can tell by looking at it, and you'll know from the title of this video what's happened here. Yes, this gentleman has decided to put a cotton bud in his ear and force it all the way down to his eardrum, and it also got trapped in the recess in his eardrum. Quite tricky to get out, as was his other one. He hadn't used the cotton bud in his other ear, but you'll see that after this one here. So I'm getting a full-size tube in there, and after we get the first bit out, we need to go down to the smaller tube to try and get the rest of it out from trapped down in his recess, which was a bit tricky. But it came out really satisfyingly. So you might also guess from the title of this video, the chap that did this was, it's a MMA fighter, he's an ex-MMA fighter. I think he's more of a coach now. So that's the part of the reason why I wasn't going to be the one to tell him off for shoving a cotton bud in his ear. I thought, no. He's a lovely chap, don't get me wrong. But I didn't want him to put me in there. I didn't want him to choke me out. So I thought, it's pretty obvious when you see on the screen, and he knew soon as he'd done it that it probably wasn't the smartest thing to do. But yeah, needless to say, I don't think he'll be doing it again. He didn't need me to tell him off, which there was no way I was going to do anyway. And there is quite a big mixed martial arts community around here. I know it's really popular all over the world. It is quite popular around here because I think this chap was quite well known in those circles as well. I believe he knows I don't know if he's a current world champion. He certainly was world champion. He was interim world champion. Tom Aspinall, if you watch, keep up to date with mixed martial arts at all, you'll know exactly who Tom Aspinall is. He's from very close to here. In fact, I believe and this chap knows him very well. And I believe that he trains in a gym occasionally, which is literally just about 20 metres away from where I'm sat right now. And I've been in that gym myself, having some wrestling, not personally. Took our rugby team in there to have some wrestling coaching sessions from one of Tom's coaches. Because it helps with the game of rugby. A little bit of wrestling involved in it as well. But yeah, so I've never met Tom, but I know I know a lot of people who know him. Something of a local hero around here, especially to all the kids. And very nice chap too, from what I'm told. Hopefully he can win his next fight. I'm hoping that he can fight, is it John Jones? We'll see how that goes. This video you might be watching this when that fight's already happened. Let's see what happens, But we're all rooting for Tom round here because he's a local hero. Anyway, that's enough about that. So what I've gone down to here is the smaller tube. Again, one of Neil's tubes, these. I did have to tell him how they really helped me out, these tubes, because you've got these sizes that are different than the full size and the small fine end. You've got a lot of sizes in between, which makes it so much easier to get stuff like this. So once again, tip me out to Neil for coming up with these tubes. It's really got me out of a pickle in many instances, and this is the one that I was saying was trapped around the recess days. Really forced it down there, but thankfully it came out in one go, that, which I was surprised. I didn't think it would, but it did. And there's his eardrum looking lovely. And notice the big difference now. His other ear, he obviously hadn't poked anything in because this is a lot nearer towards us, but it was dry as a bone. And I knew that suction wasn't going to get this out before you all shouted at me saying, why are you using that on something so dry? There's a very good reason for that. It would be very easy to put a tool, a hook, in over the top of that because there was a gap and drag it forward. But what's more comfortable, I find, for the patient is if you can lift it up off the base of the ear canal first, because this thing is stuck to it. it would prevent a lot of friction from when you draw it. So I'm trying to lift it up there to mobilise it, to separate it from the canal walls, which it is stuck to at the bottom, and then get a hook in and then pull it forward, and that will be a lot more comfortable for the patient. And that's the most important thing when you're doing a procedure like this. I mean, it turns out the hook did break through it a bit, and I still needed to keep swapping between the two. But eventually it came out. I haven't got one of my dad joke books of the day around me, so I'll have to use my memory, won't I? Oh yeah, I remember. There was one time when I was, a true story this, when I was nursing on the wards, and I was looking around for my pen, and I thought, oh no, I can't find my pen. I don't have a top pocket in these ones. I did in my old nursing uniform, and looked in, couldn't find my pen. There's a rectal thermometer in my pocket. I thought to myself, oh no, some arsehole's got my pen. Very old one, that. And yeah, completely true story. Anyway, I know another thing I have to tell you about is that one of the how long have I been doing this? Almost 3 years I've been putting videos out there, and today sometimes you get notifications from on YouTube how well some of them are doing, and I got a notification today that said one of my videos, which is this one I'll put above me here, called Very Juicy Earwax, was the first video out of all 400 odd that I've posted that's got 1 million views on its own, which was fabulous. So thank you to everybody who's watched that. They do get a lot of people see these, and I do appreciate it, and that's because of you guys watching it and commenting on it and sharing it, clicking a like, subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, please do now. It doesn't cost anything. It just means you get told when there's a new video coming out, and it also means that the channel gets recommended to more people who can watch this, so I would appreciate it. There'll be some of you skeptics and cynics at home thinking, he's only saying that because so he can make more money out of this. That's really not the case at all. You couldn't be further from the truth, because this type of content on the internet, it's not very monetizable at all, to be honest. Advertisers don't want to put adverts in content like this. It's classed as too shocking. You'll see the odd one, but not very many. In fact, I'll be open and honest with you here. I'll tell you just exactly how much you get paid for procedures like this when a video gets 1 million views. Now, not everyone gets a video that gets 1 million views, so I'm going to have a guess before I tell you how much you think you make from something like this for 1 million views on YouTube. Well, I will tell you, for this episode of Very Juicy Earwax, which I see above me now, it made a grand total of £77.56p. We're not in it for the money. I get a bit of pocket money from it, don't get me wrong, but not why we do it, because I do this because I enjoy it. It's advertising, because people come to me who've seen this kind of thing, but we're not living a high life. I don't have a house with a swimming pool and a Ferrari. Just because you're quite well known on the internet for certain things, it doesn't mean you make a lot of money from it. If it was a different type of content and it had 1 million views, it can get anywhere between up to £30,000 for a video with 1 million views. That really varies depending on where you live, what type of content it is. List goes on, but yeah, we don't get a lot at all. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that, found it interesting. But for now, take care of yourself, and I'll see you soon. Ta-da.